Another day, another video. Um, Let me just say that disclaimer that this is not going to be a full in-depth. I'm not going to be going into past level 1000, so I'm not going to be hardcore reviewing the game in 2020. But for the casuals who are just trying to find some game to play during this time, and you haven't played Destiny 2, I'd recommend it easily. Here's my main things that I like about it. Loot system is easy. The Crucible, aka PvP, is smooth. Raids or vanguards are nice. I haven't played the raids yet, cause I don't know why I haven't played the raids, but they look pretty fun, at least from what I see. I haven't played them yet. The way to level 1000 is pretty easy, and I've heard that the game is still easy afterwards due to the abilities, but I think that's going to be changed eventually, since everybody's been saying to nerf a couple things and allow it for raids to be more difficult and have a challenge, which if it does happen, I think most casuals will find a way to enjoy it, because obviously casuals are going to be converted to hardcore players if they enjoy the beginning part, which is pretty easy. It's just little quests to play with your friends, and it's pretty simple tasks. Or the fastest way, at least I think so, is going through the Crucible, because it only takes like 6-7 hours to get max light until you get the soft barrier, and then you get the hard barrier where you have to get priming rooms, and I think you get to get priming rooms and slowly rank up, which is pretty grindy afterwards. So after level 1000, it's pretty grindy, at least I think so, since you could just play the Crucible and Vanguards, but mostly you'll get your rank ups from priming rooms, from challenges, weekly challenges and daily challenges, which aren't that hard. Most of them are just complete matches, but it's like pretty much like 4 matches completed and you get a priming room or powerful room. I forgot what they're called. But compared to any other MMO that I've played, this is a simple MMO, which I'd recommend as an intro. If you are able to run it, obviously, I'd recommend at least a 1060 GPU and like just an average modern day CPU. Obviously, the rest is up to you. What else about the game? PvP actually is extremely fun. I've been playing PvP nonstop until I get level 1000, and like even once I got level 1000, I'm still playing it, so it's pretty fun. I'd probably play it all day if certain stuff didn't stop me from enjoying it as much, which is like the shotguns, and just mostly the shotguns. A lot of people do be running shotguns, and I don't really enjoy playing with like hand cannons sometimes, and if I have a pulse rifle, I don't really enjoy the game as much. I like auto rifles and some pulse cannons. It just depends on your own playstyle. There's a bunch of guns, which is a huge plus. So hand cannons, auto rifles, pulse rifles, light machine guns, and what else? Well, there aren't that many light machine guns, because mostly those are auto rifles, or unless I'm stupid and I haven't seen one. There's also shotguns, obviously, which, as I mentioned, it gets kind of annoying playing PvP and getting one hit by a shotgun when you're trying to turn a corner, but it's just how games are nowadays. Shotguns aren't really made properly, and obviously they're going to be somewhat OP close. They're going to be really OP close up and then lose damage in range. And once you get that damage in range and you realize how far away you have to be to nullify the effects, it's a lot easier to obviously to counter it, which is countering in this game. It's pretty noticeable. You can counter almost anything. Every ability is counterable. You can have shields, and you can have wells. Wells are the warlock's ability to help regen shields. So you have the total nullification, which is the Titan's wall, and then there's the well. So the abilities do come in handy. Hunters aren't really that great in PvP, but I feel like they are pretty decent in PvE, while the other ones are just good in both. But it feels pretty even every time you play a different class. So like, it's not gonna feel like crazy OP to be a Titan. It's not gonna be crazy OP to be a Warlock. So yeah, it feels pretty even, and the guns feel pretty even most of the time. It just depends on what your style is. Do you want a hand cannon where you shoot slower than obviously a pulse rifle? You only shoot one shot and like have a big headshot multiplier, and you obviously have lower fire rate. Or do you want a pulse rifle which is more accuracy than the auto rifle sometimes, slower rate of fire obviously than the auto rifle, but if you get those headshots and aim right, you probably beat an auto rifle. Or do you just want an auto rifle who doesn't have that big multiplier, but has fully automatic bullets, and obviously probably has a bigger clip than some pulse rifles and hand cannons. If you want the shotgun, you need to play close range. If they're like a little too far away, you already lost the gunfight, unless you do the melee after the shot, after they're weak. Snipers, obviously, if you want to be long range, or if you just want to be get super crazy clips and like headshot 3 people in a row. Rockets, obviously heavy, this feels a lot like Halo, where the heavy ammo is saved till later. So even though it's not that significant, if you do get the heavy ammo, you could fend off like a group from a flag, and you could three cap them for a bit, which becomes very useful for comebacks. So heavy ammo is restricted, which is very good for balancing. And I never feel like it's one-sided a lot, unless your team just decides to just like go wank somewhere and not focus on like the flags. You're gonna win the game, or it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be balanced. But if you have some people who just focus on killing and not getting flags, then obviously you're gonna lose Crucible. Besides that, PvE, it feels very fun and very easily playable for the casual player. I'm talking about casual players, I'm not talking about competitive hardcore players. So hardcore players may think it's just a little too easy, which I agree, it's a bit too easy. But the change of level, the change of how difficult it could be is nice. But obviously, once you get past those levels, and you're like 1060, obviously it's gonna be way too easy. So hopefully they just improve that to where you get punished if you don't really pay attention, or don't stay focused, or you try to do something by yourself, which is something that most MMOs do. So like, if you're not paying attention, or you're doing something obviously wrong, or obviously you're if you're just doing something that is obviously wrong. What else? The game is mostly gear based, which is the game is gear based. So you're gonna be playing and then level up your gear, obviously, until you get to level 1000, which it gets like a hard barrier. So you have to get you have to start doing challenges to get better gear. So the game is overall for MMO, and if you just want to be introduced to MMOs, this game is a perfect way to get into MMOs. And I personally love MMOs, so I really hope you come into this game and then be introduced to a new world of gaming, since obviously MMOs are very grindy. So I think you got to expect the grind, which is obviously in Destiny 2, which is very grindy. The armor is not easy to come by unless you do a lot of Vanguards and play a lot every day, which I don't, since I play other games. Well, I play this since I don't really play Destiny 2 to get maxed. I just play it for casualness, which is why I'm saying this is only a casual review for 2020. Obviously, if you're playing for free to play, it's going to be a little bit restricted because Forsaken DLC is still behind the wall for you to buy. But the free to play model is very nice. It still gives you the wide range of the whole game. And honestly, if you're just playing casually and you're just playing the missions and playing the three-man squad missions, they're very fun, and you actually get a crack out of it if you play with your friends. And if you're casual, you'd enjoy this game a lot. If you're hardcore, you'd enjoy this game, but eventually you'd feel like it's a little too easy, and you wouldn't get that satisfactory as you would as others MMOs. It's not gonna be like difficult like Dark Souls, but it's not gonna be like as easy as creative mode in Minecraft. But it just wouldn't give you that satisfactory like other MMOs, like WoW, when you're playing the bosses, when you're new to a raid. So that's the only thing that's rough for me if you're hardcore, if you want to be a hardcore player. But besides that, this game's great. I'd give it like for 2020, it's an easy 8 out of 10 for MMOs. I'm not saying that the story was, I wasn't paying attention to the story, so if you want to get into the story, it's even better. Sometimes sometimes it gets a little out of whack because they're trying to fix it up after the whole mess up with Activision. I think that's gonna be it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video, and obviously Destiny 2, check it out if you haven't played it yet in 2020. Love you all, and I'll see you on the next one.